gum, bubble gum, bubble gum, icky, sticky, 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 bubble gum. Hand it to your belly. And you pull,
Hi.
and you pull.
Can you blow a kiss?
No. Icky, sticky, 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 bubble gum.
Can you clap?
Bubble gum, bubble gum.
Allie.
Icky, sticky, 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 bubble gum. Make his hands into your mouth.
Allie, can you?
And you pull away. Icky, sticky, sticky, sticky,
Can you-
bubble gum.
Mwah. Can you clap?
Bubble gum.
Yay!
Bubble
Clap,
gum.
Allie.
Icky, sticky, 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 bubble gum. Make your hands stick to your baby. And you pull them, and you pull them, and you pull them away. Sticky, 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 sticky. Bubble gum.
Does your arm hurt?
Bubble gum. Bubble gum. Icky, sticky, sticky, sticky. Bubble gum. Makes your hands stick to your donut. And you
Look ahead, the sea is calm, and I know we've been through a lot, but just wait. Wait for better days to come and carry us like wind in our sails.
Here you go. Can you grab it?
get it.
Here, take it.
Go.
Can I have it? Can you wave?
See
Hi.
if she'll grab it with the other hand.
Go.
Yeah. So I just took her to urgent care, and they didn't even like check her in or see her because they don't have imaging here. Sorry. They don't have imaging here, and they wouldn't be able to like confirm any diagnosis without imaging. So actually the practitioner saw us in the hallway. He just like walked back there and he just kind of looked at her in the hallway and then did one thing with her arm to see if it was likely the shoulder, and she lost it, and he's like, it's almost probably a dislocated shoulder. They have to put them under sedation to get it back into place at this age. He said for an adult, they'll do it while you're awake, but for a baby, they will not cooperate well enough to put it back into place. They have to be like held down and help like the joint stabilized while they maneuver the arm, and so you just can't do that without sedation at this age. So we're going to Jacksonville. We've only been here about maybe 15 minutes, and they have us in a room. Yeah, pretty good.
Welcome back to the Brad Rach vlog. It is 9:11 p.m. and you could say that we've had a SH, you know, the next letter T day around here. Here are some discharge papers from the emergency room, and I've lit a candle because it smells like poop. If you're new around here, then you don't know that a couple of nights ago we had the pipes back up.
I don't want to do
So
that.
we've had the plumber come, and he thinks that does he know for sure that there's roots in the system?
I think it's pretty certain that there's roots, because like that's what was coming back when they said like a claw thing. I'm like on the verge of gagging. There was a claw thing that they sent down, and what they were pulling out of the obstruction was roots. So it's pretty safe to assume. They haven't sent a camera down yet, but like the thing that they were sending down would not get past the obstruction. It wouldn't get past it. And what they were pulling out was tree roots. So I guess.
So anyway, we already paid for their services to come remedy the problem.
Yeah.
But they had such a tragedy. One of their guys that works for the owner, his son passed away in like a freak drowning accident. Really sad. So he's like, I don't know when we're gonna be able to get out there. And you know, it only backs up when we do multiple loads of laundry in a day. Like, yeah, we have 2 washers and dryers. But I'm not talking about like using them both at the same time. Just like if we do a total of 2 or 3 loads a day. If we just do 1, we'll be fine.
Very rude.
I want mine to read about to his food.
Hey.
Rachel's like, can we flush the toilet? Like, we can flush the toilet.
Mom.
You do poop small, honey. We can flush the toilet tomorrow. What did you vlog it all at the ER?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I did not, like the final consensus, I did not vlog because we just got the heck out of there. So
Okay, so we'll talk about that.
We'll recap.
We'll talk about that in a minute. We're gonna put these kids to bed. What you up to?
Just ordering the only thing that will make me feel better right now.
What?
Of course, ice cream.
9:32. Dairy Queen closes at 10.
Yeah, you can only DoorDash it until 9:40.
Nice. You got 8 minutes.
8 minutes.
Better hurry.
I'm trying to figure out how I can make sure that they do it with chocolate ice cream. Add special instructions. This store has chosen not to accept special requests.
Ooh.
Are you gonna just go?
Oh.
It's an $8 delivery fee.
How far is it from here?
Um,
Am I gonna make it?
15 minutes. You'll make it.
It's 15 minutes away,
Yeah.
so it's a 30-minute round trip.
So DoorDash?
Yeah, that'd be worth the $8. But what if it's not chocolate?
Yeah, it won't be.
All right, we'll talk to you after this. Okay.
Okay.
So you didn't end the story.
Correct. Yeah, so I think I was just getting little snippets of film when I was in the ER in Jacksonville. Or it's like North Jacksonville. It was actually a really nice facility. University of Florida teaching facility. So luckily they took us back pretty quickly. I don't know if it's because she's a baby or because that was like... Do you think that factors into triaging?
I hope so.
But her being a baby?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Not just like the severity of the injury?
Right.
Only? I know nothing about triaging.
Well, I feel like every time we go with a baby, we get it quick.
Yeah, that's true. So we got back pretty much right away, and they had a nurse practitioner come in first, and she kind of manipulated her elbow a little bit and felt it click and was like, okay, it must have been a nursemaid's
Elba.
elbow.
I need to work while
Okay.
you talk.
nursemaid's elbow, and it should start feeling better and she'll start using it. We'll just let you sit here for a little bit and then we'll check back in and make sure she's using it more. Well, she was not using it more. It was like she wasn't acting much better at all after that first encounter. And so like a little later she comes in and she's like, I feel like she's using it more. And I was like, yeah, I don't think so. Maybe just a tiny bit. She would like randomly use her fingers to like pick up things, but she wouldn't lift her arm at all. And if I like held one arm down, her other arm, she would just kind of fuss and not pick up her hurt arm. So she, at that point,
didn't you do your own little manipulation?
Yes, okay. While I was waiting for her to come back, I was kind of like seeing, so if it's hurting, okay, I feel like it's a difference between her not wanting to move her arm because she's afraid to, and her having her arm moved by like me and it hurting. Like if it was still hurting, or if it wasn't hurting anymore, when I moved it, she probably shouldn't freak out. So I was moving it and she was freaking out, and I'm like, there's something still wrong. Like she's not even letting me manipulate her arm at all. And as I was doing that, I was kind of feeling around on her elbow like I saw the nurse practitioner do, very gently. I'm not like trying to reset anything on my own. But as I was doing that, I felt a click, and I was thinking like, oh, maybe like she almost got it and then that was it, or I don't know. So still not much improvement. She came back in again and like did more of what she did the first time and felt more clicking. So she's like, I don't know if it's like popping in and out. She's like, in theory it shouldn't be, because you have to pull on the joint, you have to pull on the arm to make it come out. So she's like, I don't think that that's it, but let's get x-rays and just make sure that everything looks how it should. So they did x-rays of her elbow. They looked fine. Her elbow joint was in place and how it should be. And so then she came in and kind of felt on her again, and Alice was just beside herself. Like anytime anybody touched her arm, she freaked out. And so she's like, I don't think it's the shoulder. She said that like 100 times. And she's like, but maybe we need to get imaging of the shoulder and the clavicle and just be sure. And so we did that, and those looked good. You can see her chubby baby arm like around her just tiny little bones. It was so cute. So anyway, that looked good. And not long after that is when she started turning the corner and feeling a lot better and starting to like use her arm a lot more. The doctor did come in, which like I didn't have a problem with just seeing the nurse practitioner, but I don't know if like the attending doctor over the nurse practitioner had to come in or what. But anyway, he came in and she was petrified of him. I don't know if she thought he was gonna do something or what, but so he was like sitting right next to me, and Alice was like crawling over me to get away from him. And he's like, well, she's using it. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, but she kind of has to feel, it's like she feels like she needs to do this to preserve her own life. Like people will do anything in those moments. So anyway, he was fine with letting us go and just like monitor at home. And luckily, by the time we got home, like she slept in the car and was feeling a lot better when we got home and crawling and pretty much, did you notice?
She was back to normal. Okay,
you didn't notice her babying it at all?
Not at all.
No pun intended. You know, because she's a baby. So, yeah, that was an ordeal. I was talking on Instagram, so forgive me if you follow on Instagram and here, because you're hearing all of this twice.
But it's probably a week.
Probably a week apart.
Yeah.
So maybe the story's interesting enough that it's enjoyable to hear a second time. We've had 2 encounters with nursemaid's elbow. Both times they're like, as soon as it's back in place, it feels better. Like they should start using it. They might be afraid to, but it should not hurt at all. Both times I feel like it was sore for them for a little while at least. Alice, not near as much because she's pretty much back to normal today, but Lyndle, I feel like for a couple of days, like she would be kind of ginger with her arm. And so just, I don't know, I freaked out that first time that Lyndle had it because I'm like, something is still wrong. They said she was gonna be back to normal and she was not. So take that for what it's worth. I think it is possible to have this nursemaid's injury, get it back in place like it should be, and it still be a little bit sore for a while. But trust your gut. If like you feel, oh my pothos, if you feel you need to get it rechecked, do that. This thing was so sad today. Oh, it's doing so much better. It was completely dehydrated. Look how like springy it is. And all of these were really like soggy and soft. Yeah, you're gonna be okay, little guy. You're gonna be just fine. So how is it around here with the other 4?
Perfect. They all played really well. So, I mean, you left during nap time.
Yeah, that's true.
We had screen time.
Yeah.
And then they all played really well. And then they all were super excited that I made pancakes for dinner.
Yeah.
And then we did a couple
That's always a win.
workouts. And that was it.
Oh, breezy.
And Ada is a completely different baby when Rachel's not around.
Yeah. It's so weird.
Yeah. It's too bad.
It is too bad. They say that moms always get the worst of the kids. It is so true. Like, they just kind of fuss and cling on me all the time.
Are you gonna miss that?
It's one of my least favorite stages of parenting. I'm just gonna be, I remember this with Berend Lyndle and just being like very overwhelmed and burnout and touched out at the end of the day, because they don't just like, they're not just like wanting to be held, they're like falling, more so Ada, like falls all over me. Do you know what I mean by that?
Oh, totally.
Like she'll like hold on to my shirt and then just like throw her body around so that I have to support her to like hold her up. And if I don't, she will fall down and like hit her head on the ground. And
Yeah,
so
I
it's
remember you complaining about that. Well,
with Lyndle,
yeah.
I think it was Lyndle that, and Eloise wasn't, I don't feel like she was like that
Yeah, she's not
particularly.
that
But Ada and Lyndle have a lot of similarities, and that's one of the major ones, is that they're, like, they use me like a jungle gym and depend on me to correct their floppy movements so they don't get injured, and it can be exhausting, but it will pass and I will miss it, I'm sure. This room's turning out really cute. So we have our chalkboard wall over here. I want to do, you're not going to believe me. You're scared.
Are you adding another project?
Well, I just want to hang some bookshelves up here.
More bookshelves?
Yes, I know.
You do know that these all have bookshelves, and these all have bookshelves, and these all have bookshelves, and these will have more shelves, and these will have more shelves, and these have shelves, and these have shelves, and these have shelves. And you want more bookshelves?
They don't have to have books on them. I would like some shelves.
Okay.
But maybe
That's
just,
no big deal.
okay. If, if they had to have books on them, then it would be a big deal. Yeah, I'm really, it's so cozy in here. It's like the perfect little playroom.
What are you going to put on?
On the bookshelves? Oh, like a plant, like decor, just to make it look, it's really blank besides the,
Yeah, it needs something.
it needs something up there, and I was just thinking a couple shelves would be cute that I just, like all the stuff that I have on,
One here, one here.
I don't know, maybe one long one across the top and then 2 smaller ones below it.
Yeah.
We have that, hey, we have that really cool wood shelf.
That huge one?
Yes, that would be perfect up there.
It might be too big.
Oh.
The thing with chopping it down, it has 3.
Oh.
I guess I could chop it.
You don't have to chop it. If it's too big, let's just not do it. We have another wood shelf too that could easily be chopped down.
So I went back and forth. Rachel was like, I want a house. I'm gonna build it, or I'm gonna paint it, the inside of it as a chalkboard paint. I got trim. So I'm like, I need dimensions. Like, I want you to draw out the dimensions on a piece of paper so that I have some instructions. And so she ended up just like putting a dot here, a dot there, and a dot there. I was like, oh, okay, thanks. You know, and I was like wrapping my head around like how am I gonna do these? Because I was just gonna make it flush. And so it's like, what angles do I need to cut that to make it so that, you know, obviously I would cut it like this, but I didn't know, because she got like 189 inches of trim or whatever. So I didn't know like how long everything was gonna be. So it's like wrapping my head around like what angle that's gotta be to like use all the trim and make it an appropriate size. But then I was just like hanging it up here and I'm like, why don't I just overhang a little bit so that it looks like, you know, there's gutters or whatever, and not even worry about what angle I have to cut that, and it looks just as good as if I would have made it.
Oh, I could not have cared less about, like, I just wanted it to be framed in some way so
Yeah.
I could get inside. It looks perfect.
Okay, good. Well, and then up here, I just like got it as close as I could to it being flush, and then just did a little bit of wood filler. Are you gonna paint this or no?
No, I just like it wood like that.
Because I could do a little bit more wood.
No, I don't think so.
More wood filler. Again, if you're new around here, this floor is peel and stick. Still extremely impressed.
I love it.
I would.
Walking on it, it doesn't feel like...
It doesn't feel cheap. Actually, it feels more expensive than our villa.
Totally. I know, it does, well, I think because it's stuck down, it doesn't have a gap between it and the floor below, so you don't get that echoey, hollowy sound.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's a lot worse to tear out, and maybe it won't hold up very well.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
What do you mean a lot worse to tear out?
Because I feel like the other stuff just snaps together, and if you have to replace a board or whatever, you just pop it out. This you would have to rip off of the floor below.
Yeah, but I don't think it's like so sticky that it would be a nightmare.
Alright. Should we paint that door, chalkboard paint too?
We definitely need to do something.
Yeah.
Drop a comment below. What would you do with that door?